Hello once again, and I hope you're having a great day. And in this video, we're going to be doing another video on preparation for college. In this case, we're going to be talking specifically about Ivy League. How do you prepare to get into an Ivy League college? That we'll be talking about in this video. All right, in this video, Ivy League. Now, there's lots of reasons why somebody might want to really strive to be in the Ivy League, including people who graduate from there do tend to make more money, and there's kind of prestige in it. Well, we're going to be talking about 5 things that you really want to be considering if that's a goal. If you want to get in the Ivy League, there's 5 things that you really going to want to be looking at to get yourself prepared for being in the company of elites. So let's dive into it. All right, first and foremost, when we think in Ivy League, we're thinking academic excellence. You are competing with people from all over the world who want to get into these schools. And you're talking about the brightest, the smartest, motivated, articulate. You're competing with the best. So you need to kind of grasp that for a moment and really try to understand what that means. So your academic skill set, your ability to remember information, to do well on tests, to communicate effectively, to reason and problem solve, to think critically, to ask tough questions, to delve into those questions. All those skills you really want to fine-tune and hone and pursue and work on developing. And I will be the first one to tell you, it's not always about intelligence, so to speak, that gets you there. Again, I want to talk about a friend I developed freshman year in high school. I mentioned him in another video. He was smart. He was a smart kid. But I know that there were kids who scored even better on like intelligence type tests and SAT type tests. He scored well, this kid, but he was a good student. I mean, he loved to learn. He was innately curious. That's something you can develop. He learned how to ask questions of himself. He was constantly asking different, like, why is that? How do you do that? And those kind of process-oriented and motivational kind of questions spurred the thinking. And then I want to know, the learning. That got him into an elite private school. That got him into Harvard. That got him into Harvard Law, right? It's that kind of academic interest and motivation to pursue learning for learning's sake that really begins to set people out. And it's something that you can be developed if you really have that desire and interest in getting into an Ivy League school. All right, besides academics, Ivy League schools want you involved. And here's something that you really want to be thinking about is what they would really rather see, something that you are really passionate about and involved in and do well versus dabbling in a bunch of different things. So that's not to say that a musician, let's say, or a debate, or even an athlete is so focused that they do nothing else. But clearly, this is a passion of theirs. This is something they pursue. This is something they're really good at. And Ivy League schools would want to bring that in. And what they end up doing is by finding people who are passionate about different things, they develop very good programs in music and theater and the arts and other things by bringing in people who are really passionate about that and pursue that, but who also have enough interest in other things that they'll go and they'll support those and see those things, and it really broadens the community. So you keep that in mind as you're pursuing your high school career, and that's going to help you understand what it takes to kind of get into that Ivy League school. The other thing, because you're talking about competing with the best of the best, the application process really needs to shine, right? The whole process is a little more challenging because the school needs to try to, filter out between all these people from applying all over the world to see who's really going to help, be a good fit at their particular school. And one way of doing that is an essay. That's one piece of the package, but a good essay can really draw attention to you. It can leave a memorable moment. In another video, we talk about preparing for a college interview. That's another way that you can really stand out. But to really kind of get noticed going into the interview is you have a great essay. So do that, work on that. And I'm going to caution people because in the modern times, and even before like ChatGPT and AIs come along, sometimes people would hire somebody to write them an essay. Big mistake, because if you get caught, you're done. You're done. It's not going to happen. And if you put a lot of different things in your portfolio, you can often tell the differences between the writings. So I would caution against that. Same goes with the use of AI, ChatGPT. You can use that for research. It's an incredibly powerful tool for research and getting you some information and things that you can incorporate, but you've got to write it in your own words, your own style. You have to be authentic in that. And yes, you can tell the difference. So that's just kind of a side note, but you really got to think about that as you go about putting together your application process, and as a piece of that all-important college essay. Next, I want to talk about the support system and meeting challenges, because when you are going to an Ivy League, there's high demands, expectations. Kids aren't always ready to understand how to manage those pressures. And many of the kids who are getting there have been very driven from an earlier age. That's one reason they got there. And one thing that is a caution there is understanding how to manage those expectations and the stress. The longer you keep trying to push yourself and drive yourself under the stress, the more it begins to spill out in other areas of your life, fraying relationships, sometimes through self-medication and drugs and alcohols and sex and all these other ways that people will try to begin to fill this void and deal with the stress. And Ivy League schools are not immune to that by any stretch of the imagination. So you need to help be prepared and understand what those challenges are and find healthy, productive outlets for managing that stress, for learning from it, for growing from it. That's all about the mindset. And of course, that's what I'm huge on. This is why I talk so much about trying to begin to get that for kids who are in middle and into high school, so that when they go into college, or even if they go right from high school into the real world, even if they don't go to college, there's so much all of a sudden being thrust on them as they go into adulthood that these storms of life and these stressors come up, and they haven't really developed those skills to deal with that. And again, Ivy League students who've been putting themselves under this kind of pressure cooker to get into the Ivy League aren't immune to that. Many of them hide it or suppress it, and it begins to flow out in less than appropriate ways. So the mindset and the beliefs you have, the confidence that you have, the ability to deal with managing stress, and that social support system, the family support system, having those things in place, they all kind of mesh together, right? Your mindset and putting those systems, being proactive, finding them, the resources on campus, utilizing all of that to help manage and navigate through high stress areas because of the expectations and the high achievers that like to push, push, push. It can be very helpful. It can help raise you to the next level. If you aren't careful, it can burn you out, chew you up, and spit you out real quick. So developing the mindset is really going to be important. Well, we've come to the end of another video, and a recurring theme here is I hope you can take what I teach you in this short video, really, and learn how to apply this on your own. That's my sincere hope, is why I do these. I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel, and you might, particularly after watching this one, be interested in the video we have on how to prepare for the freshman year of college. So that's Ivy League or not. There's some specific things in that. So check that video out today and come back and see us in another.